For the love of games!
Hello everybody, how's it going? My name is Steve and welcome to our Pixel Peeks of Heroes of the Storm. This is the new game in development by Blizzard. It is coming out hopefully in 2015. It is currently in technical alpha. Which is a really funny word because this game is pretty complete for an alpha. It feels at least beta. It will be moving into closed beta very shortly and then probably open beta sometime later in the year. But I wanted to give you guys a little peek into the game because I just got the invite finally after 6 months of waiting. Checking honestly a couple times a week. I finally got my invite. I got into it, I've been playing it, and I'm really excited about it, and I wanted to make a quick gameplay video just discussing the game. And maybe if you're like me, you're someone who really likes the concept of something like Dota 2 or League of Legends, but find those games a little unapproachable, this might be a solution for you, and so it's something to definitely pay attention to. So let's just pretend you are totally unfamiliar with Dota 2, League of Legends, MOBAs in general, and you want to know what Heroes of the Storm is. That's a good question, Steve. What a smart guy. Heroes of the Storm, Blizzard is calling it a hero brawler. Basically what these games are they are 5 versus 5, or it's where two teams meet in an arena and they duke it out. But the sort of characteristics of these games are usually defined by having huge pools of heroes to choose from. These are all different characters that you can play in the game. Each one has different abilities, different skills, different techniques required to play them effectively. And you will have a team of different heroes who will all complement each other in various ways, and your objective is to destroy the other team's base. Doing so wins the game. It's very simple, but the game has a lot of depth underneath all of that. Too much to even go into in one video. So I'm going to give you just sort of a quick overview. I'm going to show you some gameplay, what it's all about. I'm going to talk about some of the things that the game has going when you're not playing the game. So this is sort of your main screen here. This shows off everything, including the hero pool, which you can use to pick your heroes. Heroes are divided into 3 classes, if you want to think of them that way, or 4 classes actually. There are warriors. Warriors are your tanky guys. These are the guys that just get right into the thick of action and do lots of fighting. They don't do a ton of damage, but they can soak up a lot of it. And they're really good at distracting the enemy team while also buffing and helping out their own team. So warriors are people like Muradin and Uther and where is Diablo? Who cares? Diablo is a warrior. I can't find him with his portrait grayed out. It's too tough. Then moving on, we have assassins. Assassins are your super high damage dealers. These are the guys that I like playing assassins because they feel like rock stars, where these are the guys that show up late and just wreck. And they are really good at that. They tend to be a little bit squishy. They go down very quickly, but assassins do lots of damage. After that, we have support classes, like where is Lily? Lily's a support class. Lily's job is to run around the map, healing everybody, buffing them in different ways, making them maybe attack faster or do things like that. And there are a bunch of support characters. These are the guys that are kind of like behind the scenes, but they are so integral. They're really rewarding to play though, because even though you might not get a lot of kills, you don't get to be a rock star like an assassin, you feel like you're an important part of the team, and most teams will probably go to their way to acknowledge you if you are keeping them alive. You are very integral. Don't just because supports are the bass players. If we're going to continue with the music metaphor, supports are the bass players. They keep the rhythm going, but they're not as flashy. They don't get to bust out solos. And finally, wrapping things up, we have specialists. Specialists each have their own kind of shtick that they do. So for example, a good example of a specialist is, where is Abathur? Where are you, Abby? Abathur. This guy here, he's a specialist. Abathur will never leave the base. His goal is to just he's like an armchair general, and he'll just sit back in base, and all of his abilities can be triggered map-wide. So he'll be using those all from the base. That's his little thing. That's his weird little spin. So the big thing with Heroes of the Storm is obviously if you are a fan of Blizzard IP, you will probably be interested in this game just because it is a mashup of all the Blizzard characters. Everyone from World of Warcraft, StarCraft 2, Diablo, these guys are all here. Unfortunately, they don't have things like Lost Vikings, which is too bad. Missed opportunity. But if you love Warcraft, StarCraft, or Diablo, you can play as some of your favorite heroes. This is Sonya, the barbarian from Diablo, Raynor from StarCraft, and Illidan from Warcraft. It's kind of awesome doing that. The game is free to play, but it has the League of Legends sort of model, where every week there are 7 heroes who go on a free rotation, so you can see them all here. I only have 5 unlocked because to get the last 2 hero slots, you have to level up to a certain point, and I haven't gotten there quite yet. So each week you get a free rotation of heroes that you can play, but then the next week those heroes will be locked away and you'll have to play new heroes. If you're someone who just likes playing different heroes, you like the variety, that's great. Maybe that's not for everyone. Maybe you want to just get really good at one hero. You can do that, and there's 2 ways. You can pay for that hero with gold that you earn from completing quests and just playing the game, or you can pay real money. The game, I don't know if these prices are final. They feel a little steep, but I am not familiar enough with the economies in MOBAs to really weigh into that. But the most a hero costs right now is $10. The cheapest they cost, I believe, is $3.99. So you can pay for heroes if you wish. Speaking of money, you can also spend money on their shop here. So this shop displays all of the heroes and how much they cost for gold, but if you click on them, it will, so let's go, I really like Nova. I think she's really cool. If you go to Nova, it gives you, each hero gets their little backstory. It shows you their basic abilities and their traits, and then their heroic abilities, and you can go to their skins. This is another sort of cosmetic thing that you can spend money or gold on. So you can spend gold to unlock their master skin. The other thing you can do is you can spend money on these alternate skins, and as you level that hero up, you will also get different color variations that you can use as well. The skins tend to be lore appropriate ones, and then they always have like the goofy one, which is very typical for most MOBAs. You always have the one that's just way out there. Not every hero will have a goofy skin. Like obviously Vala, what should be her goofy skin is just totally badass. But like here, Illidan, you can get Spectre Illidan, which is awesome. You can get Patriot Raynor, and he just comes with this sweet Captain America setup. The other thing that you can spend money on in this game, back to shop, is mounts. So there are mounts in the game. These mounts can be pretty steep, $20. It's funny that Blizzard gets away with their free-to-play, their microtransactions, because that is not a microtransaction by any means, but it's not integral. This is purely cosmetic. It offers no bonuses to you in-game, so if you want to ride around on a fabulous-looking unicorn, you totally can for the low price of $20. There are also bundles that you can purchase, which include, hero packs, so you can get the Winter Veil complete bundle, which will come with Jaina, and you can also get 2 skins as well as a reindeer. Some of the bundles are actually pretty great. The starter bundle is only $5, which, I mean, for a free-to-play game, I'm okay with kicking $5, even more, as long as I'm getting the hours back out of it. I don't want to play a game where I don't want to play a game that I invest $60 in and only get 12 hours out of, which is sort of the benefit to free-to-play games is you don't have that upfront cost. If I buy a game like Assassin's Creed or something and I only get 8 hours out of it, that's $60. Whereas this, if I get 20 hours out of it, then maybe I do want to spend $5 or a little bit more to unlock some extra heroes. And then there's another battle bundle, which comes with some skins. That's $40 though. Some of the bundles get pretty steep. And then there's stimpacks you can buy. Stimpacks will increase your gold and experience gains, which will help you level faster, help you acquire gold more. I don't know if a lot of people are buying these. I think they're just an option there. Maybe you don't have a lot of time to play the game, but you want to keep up at a certain pace. And that's pretty much about it. There are community options which aren't available for the alpha. There are a few other things that aren't available for the alpha, like match history. You can't see a profile summary. You can see your hero progress, which shows you all the heroes and the levels they are at. Once heroes level up, they'll unlock different things like more abilities, as well as gold and skin variations. There are also rewards that you get for leveling up your actual profile. You just earn experience every round, and that'll eventually increase your profile level, and you get things like 2,000 gold at level 8. Once that eventually caps out, though, you will have to rely on daily quests for most of your gold. So I can play 3 games as a specialist hero and get 300 gold. Great. Fantastic. So let's get into the actual game and play it. I'm going to do practice mode just for this video because playing in an actual game would probably be too stressful. A lot is going on and, you know, things can happen. It can tend to be a little chaotic. So practice mode is just against bots. There are also cooperative modes where you can play against bots with a team full of humans, and then versus, which is your standard battle against other players of similar skill. And then there's also a custom mode where you can play private games with friends. The ranked is unlocked for, or is locked rather, for alpha. So we'll do practice. Confirm. I have picked my hero. I will be doing Raynor, who is an assassin. Let's jump into the game. So I'm gonna only play the game for about 10 minutes. I won't play the game all the way through, but just enough to give you an idea of what is going on. So this map is called Haunted Mines. There are a few different maps. Each one has their own objective layered on top that will help you complete sort of the main objective. So in the Haunted Mines, you'll venture underground, you'll collect skulls, and once you collect enough, you will unleash your golems. Now, this happens every couple of minutes. The mines will remain closed, and then, as it says here, they will periodically open, and everyone will go down to basically a second map, which you can, if this is the mini map down here, this is the mines. So you go down to the mines, you fight some ghouls, you get some skulls, and eventually you will spawn a powerful golem that will run around the map wreaking havoc on the enemy team. Now, the game starts with sort of this pre-game warm-up. This is where you'll select your first talent. Talents augment all of your abilities. You unlock them at different leveled intervals. So I'm gonna go with Seasoned Marksman. Kill enemies to gain basic attack damage. That sounds pretty cool. I want to do lots of damage. So now the battle has begun. You hear the little trumpet sound, and our AI teammates are gonna run into the area here. So these areas between our bases are called lanes, and our goal as a team is to push down these lanes, and eventually we'll run into enemy fortifications here. These will attack us and do lots of damage. Eventually we want to get strong enough that we can take these down, and we want to push. It's called pushing, and you push into the enemy lane and you keep pushing, and eventually we'll get to the core. Once that is destroyed, the game is over and our team has won. So we want to push and destroy their core while simultaneously defending our own. That's the basic strategy of the game. Of course, like I said, there's that objective layered on top, which will help us complete that. So you're juggling a lot of things and you're moving around. This is a game where teamwork and communication are integral. It really helps to have a few friends to play this game with, or make some friends to play this game with. Even if you're new, people will be, you know, if you take some time, maybe read up on your character and know what you're doing, people will, you know, they'll be pretty lenient with you. So this is Raynor. I can run around the map. This is a basic strategy game interface where you're using the mouse to click, mouse clicks to move your character around. I have a mount that makes me move faster. I can get off of it and I move a little bit slower. I cannot attack while on the mount. At the top of the screen, you'll see our team level. So our team is already at level 3, the enemy team is at level 2. You gain levels as a team, which means you want to just work together, kill as many enemies as possible, and complete as many objectives as possible. So I'm going to go in the lane, I'm going to help Uther here. These guys right here are called creeps, and creeps spawn at your base intermittently, or periodically I guess is a better way of putting it, and they will move down the lane. So we can see a new reinforcement of creeps coming up, and they will meet somewhere in the middle and start duking it out. But the heroes are here, and we're obviously going to be trying to kill the enemy creeps and damage the enemy. This will push the creep line. So you can see we would have met in the middle, but we did a lot of damage to the creeps, and now we're meeting here. That is all part of pushing. Eventually the creeps will wind up hitting the enemy base right there. Thank you, Uther tutorial man. So I just unlocked my level 4 talent. I'm gonna go with increased basic attack range. And I'm gonna get in here and we're gonna hit Malfurion with one of my abilities. So that ability I just used was called Penetrating Round, and every couple seconds I can use it. And you can see here that's the targeting reticle coming off of my body. So when that's ready, I hit Q, or I hold Q, and then I aim it and I use the mouse button to fire it. And that pushes enemies back and does a lot of damage. The mines are open, so we're gonna go down to the mines and start working on these objectives here. I also have another ability. Oh, Malfurion just got wrecked. So these guys, they drop the skulls we will pick up. You can see the skull counter down here in the bottom right corner. So we're gonna run around here. I'm gonna... Oh man, Lily's running. Oh. Oh man, she just made it out. The other ability I have is called Inspire. Everyone gets a 15 bonus to attack speed. Oh, Lily, why did you come back? The AI, it's worth mentioning, are dumb. You will only want to play against them for a little while until you get a little familiar with it. Then you will definitely need to move on to real human opponents. They are much tougher, but you are much better off learning to play against humans than the bots, because the bots are just plain stupid at this stage in the game. So Inspire is my next ability. That one, anyone in this area here gets a bonus to attack speed. So I want to be using Inspire as much as possible. And there we go, just some mad double kills. I got another talent here, which I will use to penetrating rounds, knock enemies further, deals extra damage to structures. Sure. So we're attacking this big guy here, which drops a lot of skulls. So we want to get as many as possible from this dude. Oh, Lily. She just keeps getting wrecked. Now that we've gathered all the skulls and the time is up, this area is going to close off. And what's going to happen here is our golems are going to spawn, and they will be more powerful depending on how many skulls we gathered. So we gathered 72, the other team only gathered 28. So our golem is going to be pretty strong, theirs is going to be fairly weak. That's sort of the nuance to this whole objective, and each map has their own. I'm only going to show off this one map in this video though. All the objectives are fairly similar. It usually means go somewhere, gather something, and that'll help you push deeper into the enemy lane.
And forts require ammunition to attack.
Alright, so the creep line has moved back, you can see, but we're going to do a lot of damage because we've all gained up here. You really want to move as a team as much as possible. There is a time where, you know, maybe you want to go alone and that makes sense. Whoops, I was shooting at the wall. But a lot of times you want to move as a team, especially during this phase where our golem has showed up. We are pushing as a team, we will push much further than if we were just working alone. Whoops. And Diablo is valiantly trying to mount a defense, but because he's working with the AI, they are all dumb and they are not helping. They are pushing in their own lane. You can see up here they are destroying and getting into things, but their golem's super weak, so we're just going to leave them be and focus on our own stuff. And I just sniped Tychus out of the round. I got another talent. So this, at level 10, you will unlock your heroic ability. Heroic abilities are super powerful, but they take a long time in between uses. They are sort of like your big finishers, your grand finales. You want to use them in big team fights. So I'm going to go with Hyperion, which calls down a strafing battle cruiser to just blast the battlefield. It's super epic. I love it. So typically you want to use your heroics as a team. Everyone uses their heroic all at once, and that will just devastate the enemy. But that's not always going to happen. You just want to use them to maximum effectiveness, and something like Hyperion, which does a lot of damage to a wide area, I don't want to waste it on a single opponent. I want to hit as many people as possible with it. Like Diablo and Tychus are right there. Tychus is totally going to get rocked by it. Oh man, I sniped him. That's why playing an assassin is so much fun, because you just punish people. When they are just being dumb out there, you just roll up and just slap them out of the sky. It's so satisfying. So we are pushing very hard. Our golem is doing just fine. It has a lot of health. We've gotten a ton of kills. The entire enemy team's just been wiped pretty much. They're gonna keep, and we're already pushing into their base. We're doing damage to their core. The core has a shield that will recharge. Oh, Tychus is doing a lot of damage to me. I should probably push him out of here. Uther is gonna, oh, okay, there we go.
To teleport back to base, and you will heal there over time. The default hotkey for Hearthstone.
And that's kind of the gist of the game. You're seeing it in a very, you know, brief light. Like I said, this game has a ton of depth to it, something that you will never sort of become familiar with even after a single game. You will likely have to read guides, learn builds. You know, you have a lot of talents to choose from. I obviously have unlocked talents, or locked talents rather, that I can't even use yet because Raynor is just too low of a level. Once you have those all unlocked, you have a lot of options. And you're going to want to, you know, go online and maybe look at a guide that tells you which options to select for a specific purpose. If you want Raynor to just deal a metric ton of damage and quick punches, you can do that. If you wanted Raynor to be a little bit more versatile, you can do that. So we made some really good strides. We hit the enemy very hard. The other thing I want to talk about on the map, just some basic things, are these tall bushes here. If you go inside of them, you're invisible. You also can't see through them. You can see there's kind of a field of view here, and it changes as I move around the map. There's like a fog of war. I can't see what's on the other side of these bushes. If I go into the bushes, I can see, and I become invisible. If someone enters the bushes from the enemy team, they will be able to see me, though.
Visible to enemies outside. Heroes become visible if they leave, or if an enemy enters the bush they're hiding in.
I just said that. Oh, this game is so rude sometimes. The other thing that's really important on the map is controlling camps. Camps are areas with enemies in them that won't attack you unless you attack them first. If you attack them and you kill them all, then they will join your team and they will push down the lane. So I don't know if I am strong enough to take these guys all down. I can waste an ultimate. That'll do a lot of damage. Oh, Val is showing up to help me out. Actually, my whole team's showing up to help me out. There we go. And then you stand on this area, there, and now you see they spawn our color. They will then move to this lane and start pushing down it, helping us out. There are also these little watchtowers. If you control them, that'll illuminate a spot on the map, and you can see enemy movements in those areas. That's basically the gist of the game. Work as a team, complete the side objective, which will then allow you to complete the main objective, and eventually destroy the team's base. That's really it. It's very simple to discuss on paper, and there is a huge amount of depth to it. This is a game that you could, or MOBAs in general, are games that you can spend a lot of time playing before you are ever an expert at them. This one, what I love about Heroes of the Storm is it is very accessible to new people. It lacks a lot of the depth of something like Dota 2 or League of Legends, but it is just as fun to play. The rounds are much shorter. I mean, we're 9 minutes in and we already have cleared an entire lane. One more big push and we could probably take this thing down, especially because we're playing against dumb AI. Even against real human players, rounds typically last 20 to 25 minutes, which is so much shorter compared to Dota's 40-minute rounds, sometimes an hour and a half if they're really evenly matched and neck. The game is just as fun for me. I'm enjoying it. It's so accessible. It's easy to just kind of get into and kind of piece it together how to play well. I'm going to jump out of here actually. Blizzard is really going for what they did with Hearthstone, which is creating a game that's very accessible and making it free so people can play it who maybe aren't into these types of genres. And I think Heroes does a really good job of that. There's obviously going to be a higher level of play that people are going to want to play at, and that is totally fine. But for someone like me who wants to play a game like Dota but doesn't want to invest the thousands of hours it takes to get good at Dota, Heroes of the Storm is a perfect opportunity for me. I love it. It's a great game. It's a lot of fun. It's very polished. This is a Blizzard game. It runs just as well as you'd expect it to, and it's in technical alpha. I'm sure they will do what they can to refine any odd things, and there are odd things. Pathfinding sometimes isn't the best. Sometimes your hero will get hung up on things that they shouldn't. Things like that. There are abilities that they have added into the game that imbalance it in certain ways. Of course, all of that is there. They will work on that type of stuff over time. They are listening to people's feedback and responses to these things. I'm confident that when this game finally ships, or when you have the chance to finally play it, you will find it being pretty great. It has a really nice level of polish to it. And that's about all I have to say for it. It's a solid game. If you haven't yet, go to battle.net, register an account if you haven't, sign up for being eligible for the beta. There's a little thing you can sign up, and it'll read your computer specs, and then it'll keep you in mind next time it rolls out invites, which I believe they're doing every week or so. And hopefully you'll get into the alpha or the beta when it opens into beta, and you can start playing the game. It's free. I mean, why wouldn't you try it out? It's a lot of fun. So that's all I have to say, really. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or suggestions, anything like that, please let me know in the comments. You can also go to pixelattack.net, where we have all of our written content. We have reviews and articles and all sorts of great stuff. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube video for more of these types of videos and other things that we're doing all the time. We are very busy. We are hard at work. Anyways, thank you so much for your time. I hope you guys have a great Christmas, and I will see you guys later.